And unfortunately, every now and then, what would hit you would be wet and it would be warm. And then you would give it the sniff check and you'd be like, oh no, that's... Yo, I went to a concert yesterday and chatting with a friend, reminding us of crazy tales from back in the day. I noticed that there's something that doesn't happen at festivals much anymore. There's something that happened more back in the day. People... they used to throw bottles, okay? And when I say, like, throw bottles, I'm talking about, like, a lot of bottles. At one of my first ever festivals that I went to, we went to see this band called Throwdown. They were throwing things down. That's what they do. They were throwing it over here. They were throwing it over there. They're always downwards, never up. They're not called throw up. So, anyway, if you've been in crowds and you've seen mosh pits, you know how, like, pockets of the crowd can open up. Well, between bands playing at Download Festival back in the day, what people used to do was throw bottles, trash that had been dropped on the ground. They would throw it back and forth. It would get pretty crazy. So you used to like have to stay alert before a band came on. You used to look over your shoulder and then someone might go heads up and like a bottle would just fly in and you'd, you know, dodge it or whatever. That's something that's gone away. I'm not sure when it went away, but having had a 6-year break from going to a Download Festival, I came back and I can't remember any bottle throwing at all when I was there. I didn't miss it. You know, notice it because it's not particularly a great thing. You're not standing there waiting to see a band thinking like, oh, I missed that feeling of something about to slam into the side of my head. So, like, of course I'm not going to notice it's not there. But there was a teeny bit of it yesterday, and me and my mate were talking about some ungodly sights that we had seen back in the day and how, like, that stuff doesn't seem to happen anymore. Is that why they added the new plastic cap that doesn't fully twist off to decrease aerodynamics, says Coney Lives? Possibly, yeah, possibly. You only started going to concerts in 2022, and it's never been something you've seen nowadays, as if, you're the person I want to hear more from. Anyone out there who's been to festivals, let me know what it is like now, or if you saw it back in the day, because I got videos of it in my little collection of videos that I have taken over the years. So when Throwdown came to play, there was like a mosh pit opening because people were throwing so many bottles, it like opened up the crowd. People had to get away. It was becoming dangerous. This is how crazy it got. And I remember throwing a bottle in myself and like following it and watching it, and it like ping, 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 up in the air, back down, ping, 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 boom, boom, boom. Oh, then it hit the ground. Like, it was in the air for like 30 seconds or something. It was just so crazy. And one of these bottle fights, it kind of like, I remember in 07, it broke out on a hill, like not in the usual place where you had bottle fights. And then people started using like wheelie bins to try and like fight up and down the hill and claim it. And as I say all this out loud, it was like, at the time, it was like a bit of a laugh. And now you look back at it and it's kind of like, this feels like something kids do, but like it's adults doing it, or maybe like teenagers and young adults. Most people are still children on the inside, so once they get to the chance, they will take it. True. We always have like childish impulses, right? I just say, when you're that age, when you're young, you're just so much more impressionable. You tend to just go along with what's going on around you. And there's certain ways you can organize crowds of people that will incentivize or decentivize certain types of behavior. And I think if you make it so it's harder to throw bottles, people stop throwing bottles, and then no one's actually doing that anymore. The problem sort of goes away, and it probably influences other crowd behavior as well. I think there's often been a spirit of like looking after one another in the crowd, especially in the mosh pits, but it feels like it's stronger than ever. I used to go into some mosh pits back in the day where it was very, very rough, and I don't feel like you see that attitude at all anymore. It's like pretty much every band you go and see, the attitude is like, if someone goes down, pick them up. It's good. It's a good thing. Just imagine trying to enjoy the concert and being afraid the whole time the bottle is going to get thrown into your face, says Shalarama. Well, that is how it was back in the day, right? Like, Download 06, 07, 08, 09, 10. Like, before, I can't remember when it started to fade out, but before the bands go on, you would literally, you and your mates would be on full alert looking around because bottles would just come in. They would hit someone on the face. My mate was telling me when we were watching this one band that someone had brought in a 2-liter bottle of Coke and like dropped it. And so someone else thought it'd be a good idea to throw it. And he was saying that it like smacked him in the side of the neck and completely messed his neck up. This is what people can do in crowds. Like, the worst of our behavior can come out. It's like a crowd psychology thing. And so people think it'll be a laugh to like throw this giant bottle of Coke, and then, you know, it ends up really hurting someone, which is not funny, but it's what we do. A K-pop concert in WDC got shut down early because the venue was charging $12 a bottle of water and you couldn't bring in your own. People were fainting and the staff were ignoring it. That is awful. That's kind of like what happened at Woodstock, right? That should never be allowed. You should always be able to bring water. But are you ready for this story to go to another level of horrendousness? Disgust me, says Chaotic. You'll get disgusted. Okay, so y'all understand the dynamics of throwing bottles, okay, in crowds. Another dynamic of being in a crowd and having bottles of water is that you drink the bottles of water, okay? Right? You drink the water. Now, what happens on a hot day in a crowd of people when you're a long, long walk away from any facilities? People that mostly blokes. Let's be frank. It's 99% blokes are gonna pee in the bottle. And what do they do with the bottle? They throw it. Now, also cups. Like, it used to be paper cups as well as the bottles. So this is like there is a lot of bad stuff about festivals, okay? And it's still, despite all of this, you go because the experience of watching the band and being there live with them is incredible. It's so incredible that you'll put up with stuff like this. Fortunately, these days, you don't have to put up with this. You kids today don't know how good you got it. People will pee in the cups, they will pee in the bottles, and they will throw them. And this is why me and my mates used to stand around before the band come on with a deep sense of vigilance and watching out for one another. Because we'd be like, heads up, dodge, and you know, whoa, dodge that one. And unfortunately, every now and then, what would hit you would be wet, and it would be warm, and then you would give it the sniff check, and you'd be like, oh no, that's pee. Yes, this is something that I'd forgotten about, where I'd gone back to recent download concerts, because as you can imagine, you don't go there. You're not like, where's the wee? What's happening? I came here to get a bottle of wee thrown at me. No, of course you're not. I completely forgot about it. I forgot how bad it used to be. Okay, now this story gets worse in multiple ways, chat. It gets so much worse. So plenty of times over the years, and this is when you're camping for like 3 days without a shower. You know, you had to survive on baby wipes at the end of the day. Just wipe yourself down and do the best you can. You know, you're watching a band and just you'll get sprayed with some wee every now and then. It's awful. Every now and then. I don't think this ever really happened to me, but I know people that happen to. Like sometimes you catch the full cup or the full bottle. You know, you're not just getting splashed. It's like you're getting soaked, and it is just foul behavior. Again, crowds can bring out the worst. I have a memory of this happening, but I don't remember the particulars because it's quite foggy and a long time ago. But at Sonosphere, back in like 2010, there was a bottle fight before the band started between the two sides of the barriers. And you had the crowd on the left fighting with the crowd on the right through the means of throwing bottles at one another. And me and my mate are watching it. And I swear, I think this is how it went down, but we saw a bag of dark stuff get slung, and as it went into the other side, it like ripped apart, and you just saw this brown sludge. I don't know if it was or it wasn't, but I remember the story is that we saw that happen. We saw poo get thrown through the air somehow, and like that is a level foul behavior. That's a level you didn't expect. Now, to dial down the disgust a little bit, my friend that I was with, all of a sudden, just like, what's that? Like, feels something on their leg. We turn around, the guy behind him is just peeing on the back of his legs. Unbelievable. I'm not sure if I was actually there or not. It's really weird. Like, you get older and all these stories that you know that you and your mates tell each other, it's almost like you feel like you're a part of them. I'm not actually sure if I was there or not, because I felt like I would have done something about that, whereas I have no memory of like what happens next. So maybe I wasn't actually there, but that happened to my mate. That definitely happened to my mate. I'm really not sure if I was there or not. It's so weird. It's like I've got an image of it in my mind, but I'm not sure if that's just because I've been in like a lot of gigs and you can kind of put that imagery together. This behavior, I think, has like gone away a lot. Some of that might be drug induced, says Goth Pilot. When we say drug, people are drinking. That's why their bladders are filling up. People are drinking, their bladders are getting full up. Do we say inhibitions are being lowered? I think that's the phrasing, right? Like your decision making, your moral compass, it's all getting messed with. And for me, back in the early days, I still drunk. But these days being sober, it makes it much easier not to partake in that kind of behavior. So did you enjoy the waffle? Want to hear more stories and thoughts? Check out the playlist link below if you want more videos like these, and of course subscribe to the channel to catch future ones, and go to linktree.xisuma.co if you'd like to find links to all of the other activities that I do, including playing guitar, making music, Minecraft videos, and much more. Go check out that link.